Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are uncorking the world of essential oils. Let's get into it. You know, this old line could not be more perfect for essential oils. They are everywhere for wellness, for cleaning, for beauty, but all that power means you've got to know the safety rules that come along with it. Okay, so let's dive into this potent world. We're going to cut right through the noise and give you a super clear, science-backed guide so you could use these amazing products responsibly and get all the good stuff without any of the risks. So first things first, let's get really clear on what's actually inside these little bottles. Because understanding what they are is the absolute first step to using them safely. So what even is an essential oil? Well, it's the pure essence of a plant, captured through things like distillation. But the key word here, the one you really need to remember, is concentrated. Think about it like this. It can take hundreds, sometimes even thousands of pounds of plant material just to make one tiny bottle. That's where all that power comes from. And that insane concentration is exactly why they can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. I mean, look at this number, over 4,000. That's how many poisoning incidents were reported in just one Australian state in 4 years, mostly with kids. And poison control centers all over the world are seeing more and more of these calls. Now, this isn't to freak you out, but it's to really drive home why safety has to be your number one priority. So all of this brings us to the single most important safety step of all. Before you even think about putting an essential oil on your skin, you have to follow the golden rule, dilution. Seriously, this is non-negotiable. And right about now, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, if it's natural, right from a plant, why is it such a bad idea to apply it neat, undiluted? That is a great question, and the answer is all about safety. Putting oils straight on your skin can cause some pretty nasty irritation, redness, maybe even burns. And even worse, if you keep doing it, you could develop a permanent allergy to it. It's called sensitization. But here's the cool part. When you dilute oils in a carrier oil, like jojoba or almond oil, you not only avoid all that, you actually help the oil absorb better. Plus, and this is a great bonus, it makes your expensive oils last so much longer. So you're actually saving money. And just look at how little you actually need. For just a general body massage oil, a 2% dilution is the standard for adults. And that's only about 7 to 14 drops per ounce of your carrier oil. For something delicate like your face, you go even lower, down to 1%. With these oils, less is absolutely more. And actually doing this is so simple. It's just 3 steps. 1, pick your carrier, lotion, oil, whatever. 2, add the right number of drops for your dilution. And 3, mix it up really well before you put it on. That's it. Simple. Okay, so beyond dilution, there are 3 really common but really critical mistakes that you've got to avoid. Let's just break them down one by one. First one, the sun. Some oils, especially the citrus ones like lemon, bergamot, and lime, are what we call photosensitive. That's just a fancy way of saying they react with sunlight and can cause a really bad skin reaction. We're talking anything from redness to actual burns. So the easy fix? Just use those oils at night. Number 2, you have to be super careful with what are known as hot oils. Think cinnamon, oregano, clove, even peppermint. They create this really strong warming or cooling feeling and can easily irritate your skin if you're not careful. For these, you have to dilute them way down and always do a little patch test on your arm first. And this last one is a big one. Please never, ever ingest essential oils just because you saw it on a blog or social media. Swallowing these oils can be really toxic to your organs. Using them internally is an advanced practice that should only ever be done with a prescription from a qualified professional who really understands the risks. Now, it is so important to remember that these rules are not one size fits all. What's safe for a healthy adult might not be safe for someone else, and the guidelines can change a lot for certain groups. We need to be especially careful when we're using oils around children, when you're pregnant, and around our pets. For these groups, the safety rules get way stricter. For example, with infants, the dilution should be incredibly low, like 0.25%. If you're pregnant, there's a whole list of oils to avoid, especially in the first trimester. And for our furry friends, so many common oils like tea tree are toxic to them. If you're diffusing, always do it in a big open room and make sure your pet can easily get up and leave if they want to. Okay, so now you know how to use oils safely. But how do you even know if you're buying the real thing? The market is just flooded with fakes, so let's talk about how to spot them. First things first, Just completely ignore phrases like therapeutic grade or certified pure. These are just marketing slogans that companies made up for themselves. There is no official independent agency that grades or certifies essential oils. So those labels, they don't mean a thing. Instead, here's what you should actually look for. A huge green flag, seeing the full Latin botanical name printed right on the bottle. That shows they're being precise. Another great sign is when a company makes their lab test reports, called GC/MS reports, available. Now, a major red flag, a price that seems way too good to be true. If you see rose oil for $10, it is not rose oil. So, I want you to think of yourself as an essential oil detective. Here is your smart shopping checklist. You're going to look for the Latin name, the country of origin, proof of lab testing, and a price that actually makes sense for what it is. I think the biggest thing to take away from all of this is that natural does not automatically mean safe, not without knowledge and not without respecting its power. Which brings me to a final thought for you. Now that you know what to look for, what's the very first thing you're going to go check on the oil bottles you have at home?